when did this love affair with wrestling start? Like, what was the moment that kind of sucked you in and made you start to love this thing?
So I clearly remember I was watching TV with my stepdad, and he's flipping through the channels. I'm like 10 years old, and I had known The Rock from his movies, not necessarily from wrestling. So he's flipping the channels, and The Rock is cutting a promo on Monday Night Raw. And I was like, wait, stop. Like, what is this? And I stayed watching his promo. I was blown away. And then I stayed watching the rest of the show, and I was just hooked. And after that, I saw the women perform, which they only had maybe like 2-minute matches. But from those 2-minute matches, I could just see like the athleticism, and I could see through like the TV and kind of see how they wanted more. And I knew they wanted to do more. There was Royal Rumbles, there was Money in the Banks, but there wasn't any for the women. And I just had this feeling that one day it could possibly happen. And when I was 13 years old, I started training to become a wrestler in Laredo, Texas. I was trained under George Benavides and Johnny Angel. And then I transferred to Booker T's. When I was 16 years old, I started taking Greyhound buses pretty much every other week, every month, to just go down there in Houston, 5 hours from my hometown, and train just to get better. And a few years later, look at me now. I'm a WWE superstar, and Booker T is commentating all my matches.
You know, I was going to save this for a little later, but since you brought it up now, I'll pull the question up now. Just share with us what Booker T has meant to you, what that relationship has meant to your career and, you know, your personal life.
So much. Yeah, it's funny you say my personal life, because I feel like Booker T has done so much for me, not just as a wrestler, but as a person as well. I walked into his school at 16 years old, and he could have just not really taken me too serious, but he did from the moment he saw me. Him and Charmel, they took me under their wing, and they were kind of like second parents to me in a way. And yeah, Booker T saw something in me that not a lot of people saw. And at 17, 18 years old, I became his youngest Reality of Wrestling Women's Champion in history. So at 18 years old, I was already making history. But yeah, Booker T has been so awesome. And it's really cool that I think it was a few months after I got signed to the WWE, they signed him as an NXT commentator. That was really awesome. I think especially coming into WWE and feeling really nervous, excited but nervous, and then being able to have my mentor there with me made the process so much easier.
Watch new episodes of No Contest Wrestling every Wednesday, or listen wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to follow us at No Contest Wrestling Podcast on Instagram.